Well, we went we went into Bolton Town Centre and we spoke to a group of campaigners, a handful of them, a small handful of them, which were asking people's opinions on how they was going to vote. What they wanted after, now we've moved on from the vote.
So they were doing a poll, yeah?
They were doing a poll.
Tell us about the poll.
The measles chart.
The measles chart, nice.
So they were asking people what their opinion is and what they want now. So they want a May's deal, a no deal Brexit.
Who were they asking?
They're asking members of the public, but what they was doing is gauging their opinion first before they with the majority of them, by the looks of it, before they actually give them a sticker to vote. Nevertheless,
very democratic.
Very democratic. Nevertheless, even with the manipulation, it seemed that people still wanted, as they originally voted in Bolton, people still wanted to leave the European Union.
Right, so I'm gonna insert a picture of the measles chart at some point in the video here, yeah, just for the comedy value of this, yeah. The disease chart, yeah, right. But anyway, right, go on.
It's like a fucking kid.
We now and think again what yeah, that's what people know.
So, despite the fact that they questioned and talked to and manipulated before handing them a sticker,
we saw that, right?
We did see that.
What, the manipulation of the vote?
Yeah, they would ask, what's your view on Brexit? And then, boom, as soon as they said they were anti-Brexit, there you go, there's a sticker. You can have a red one. Today. Come back.
Here, I'm a communist sticker. One. They should have been handing out lollies with it as well, shouldn't they? Like when you take a trip to the dentist.
Here you go. Here's your
well done, voted correct.
So anyway, right, okay. So we've established that the measles chart was based on very shaky ground, right? But apparently that's their version of democracy, yeah. But anyway, right, okay. So you ended up in some pretty serious debate with them about this, and what was your particular highlight of the conversation you had with them?
So
yeah, something like
that. £20, please. So one of the highlights was that I was speaking to one of the guys there who was a big fan of the European Union, and he said that it was a very democratic society. It was an organisation that was the most democratic in the world, which blew me away, really, because it's completely the opposite.
Being the most democratic in the world.
So I think I confronted him with the direct democracy argument at this, and what was his response?
Well, they kind of rubbished it. He said it's similar to an idea which the Swiss people have, and then he said it's not very democratic at all, and kind of rubbished it. So he's, the European Union, which is an undemocratic organisation, and saying that it's very democratic, and the most democratic model, which is direct democracy, where real people are choosing.
This is Switzerland and Liechtenstein.
Similar to things that, like systems in Switzerland.
The whole thing.
He says he's not democratic, so he's completely got the two things mixed up.
Right. Okay. So he didn't. Let's say he didn't know what he was talking about. Really. Yeah. So anyway, right. He asked me what my political opinion was, and I basically said to him that I'm a libertarian. So his response back to this was, "You're an anarchist, yeah." Right? No, Damien.
Apparently you like every other,
Right? Am I an
yellow vest.
anarchist? Let's answer this, because
Well,
I'm asking
I don't
I'm asking a conservative here, and then I'm going to ask a lefty.
No,
yeah, right.
I wouldn't say you're an anarchist at all. You're not anti-government. You're not anti. Your views aren't extreme in any shape or form. At the end of the day, you're just everyday Joe Bloggs on the street that has his own point of view. Okay, you're a head sitter. I think that you give your opinion, but you won't fully commit to that opinion. No, you'll make your voice heard, but on the other hand, you're there, but you're not.
I see. What you're basically saying is I'm
You're
not
a
a
bit of a-
conservative.
Yeah, you're a
Right,
bit of a
yourself.
head sitter, you know.
Right. Okay. Right. But anyway. Right. So the lefty here, we're going to ask now. Am I an anarchist?
No, I think you believe in people's rights and freedoms, freedom of speech, and take a clear libertarian view. And I don't believe that you're an anarchist, certainly not in the sense which imply anyway.
I think it's important to define what, in your own words, what a libertarian is, because for our viewers, knowing what a libertarian, some people may not know what a libertarian is.
Well, okay. So I would say a libertarian has similar views to liberals in many ways, but we don't believe in big government, and we also don't believe that. We don't believe that freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of expression should be attacked, and we believe that the powers that politicians have should be severely limited. Yeah. So in some ways we're like liberals, but in some ways we're diametrically opposed to liberals in the fact that liberals do tend to like very big government, particularly neoliberals. Yeah. Whereas I'm very mistrustful of the government as a whole. I don't trust politicians, and I think that the power should be seriously limited. So in that, I suppose I share some common goals with anarchists in that respect, but I do not believe that government can survive without a government. I think that that's a stupid idea, trying to survive without a government. It just ends in chaos, yeah? And I'd like to also clarify what the Greek word anarchy actually means. It means a complete lack of government, yeah? That's its actual technical definition. Now, because of the way that linguistics works and the way that we've been educated throughout the years, we believe that anarchy means chaos, and that's just not true, yeah? Anyway.
Yeah, so
Give the lefty a point of view here. I think Damien's actually a little bit of a libertarian himself, yeah, and I think so's Alex actually.
Well, you've got to be, you've got to be, when we have a channel like this, you've got to be open to the left, to the right, to the libertarian.
So I mean, this is the thing.
But I'll call you an outskirts on a fence sitter. You got to be open to everybody's kind of viewpoints,
Yeah, I think it's just a firm belief in freedom, really, for me. That's the most important factor in my political beliefs, yeah, because I do share some left-wing stuff, like, I think that people should get free healthcare and stuff.
Does.
Yeah, and that's a moderate position to hold, I suppose. Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, like, I would differ from a conservative in the fact that many conservatives think absolutely everything should be privatised and that the government shouldn't have involvement in that. I do believe in free healthcare, for example, and various other things. So I can agree with the left on this point of view, and I think Damien does think that that you should have plenty of social services within a society to keep vulnerable people from being at risk. I would say that's something that you would subscribe to, right?
Yeah, I mean,
something you pay for.
Some of my views are left leaning, but a bit like Alex has said, in principle, what I try to do is not be right or left or centre ground, and avoid this kind of polarisation. If there's a good thing that can come out of any ideology, then let's use it. Let's apply it to everyday life instead of
I think-
turning down good ideas because of what belief system they came from.
I think everybody has a bit of left, a bit of right, even a bit of centrist in them. It's just how they go about.
Part of being a free
the-
citizen in a Western
Well,
democracy,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's true. You know, at the end of the day, we are here on this planet, and if something betters our own, or as a collective, our own
So I think we can.
experiences, I'm all for
So
that.
can we all agree then, yeah, that the left in particular in this country has attacked many of the freedoms that conservatives, libertarians, and traditional lefties like Damien here hold as a strong viewpoint, yeah, and as a consequence of them attacking those ideals, that's why we've left those sort of beliefs behind.
Well, in my opinion, the left has fractured society. Now, I believe that the whole left's openness to society, you know, the whole openness to everything has divided communities into pockets. So you have one
Enclaves.
in your words,
Yeah,
conclave.
enclaves.
So you have one set of people, say 1,000 people, they have one view. You have another set with 1,500 people, they have a different view, and
So what you're saying is that
enclaves-
people are not integrated with each other.
they're not. And as soon as you have differing views, there's a clash. You know, and over time, in the short term, it doesn't matter so much.
So
in
do
the
you
long
believe-
term, it can be devastating.
Well, on that
You know,
point, do you actually believe that some populations within the UK are unassailable with other populations? In other words, they're never going to mix. Yeah.
That's interesting language that you use. That, in my opinion, I think that there is deep-rooted ideological motives, ideals behind their own points of view, and these points of view are not in line with Western culture. I believe that at the end of the day, they're not going to integrate with society. The whole thing that politicians say is, "Oh, but we live in a multicultural society." It's not true, you know.
So
There are
you
pockets
believe we're living
the
in an
UK
enclave
that
society?
are segregated from every other aspect of English society. They send money home. They don't contribute. Instead of contributing, they actually take money out of the system.
Right. Okay.
So that's my 2 cents.
Well, just a common belief on that was that those people were brought into the country to prop up a pension system, but in reality, that probably hasn't really panned out the way that the
Well, look at the pension
political elites
system.
planned it to.
It keeps on increasing in increments every year. Every time somebody brings up an issue, it goes. Suddenly you see it's up to 67. By the time I retire, it's probably like 80 or 90 years old, because some daft bastard has turned around and said, we need this for this, and as a consequence, the age of pension has increased. So
Yeah.
that's right.
So, you, Damien, what's your opinion on this enclaved society thing? Do you believe that there's segregation within society?
There is, and I think it's been aided by the left. The left are a conduit for polarisation. They're divided.
So you believe that the left has divided the society, not the right, because the right, the left do say that the right are the ones that have divided
Has
society.
structure to it, left doesn't.
Yeah, so the left, I mean, you know, society hasn't become divided solely by the left per se. There's lots of different things at play, but in the main, especially over the last 10 years, the left have contributed significantly to it. So what they've done is they've created a polarised society where people have had to turn into their own communities and not integrate because in fear that the left would victimise them. If, for example, somebody speaks out on various issues which the left don't agree with, then simply what they do is attack them, which leads them people into a situation where they feel they can't speak out, so they have to turn away and look inwards to their own community and segregate themselves.
So let me ask you another question, Mike. Do you believe that custom, culture and tradition play a role in society?
Yeah, I think it's important that every type of every area in society has its own culture. That's how we've evolved.
But what happens when that culture actually coincides or is in direct opposition to how a certain cultural norm is in a society?
Well, there'll obviously always be cultural clashes, and the cultural clashes which happen
as a result of people not integrating into society properly.
And if you're going to...
Well, all right, put a suggestion forward here. Well, how can you force integration within a society without causing problems?
You can't force it. It has to be the will of each culture.
Each individual person, there has to be a willingness to want to. You have people that are in society that they have friends with other cultures. There's that cross-cultural communication, but you see with some cultures, some aspects of British life, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. Is that because one political party is biased towards another? Maybe. There's all mitigating factors that result in something like this happening. It is destructive. You must agree with me, yeah? That it is destructive to society.
Well, I'll give you some disturbing facts here, right? So over the last 12 months, as of this poll was taken 3 to 4 months ago, but as of the 4 months ago, there was a no. This is issued by a proper research institute. Yeah, I'll publish the details in it in the video. Yeah, but basically, the left lost ground in 94% of elections across Europe in that 12-month period. Yeah. Now, why do you think it is, Damien, in particular? Yeah, as the more left-leaning person here, why do you think it is that the left is losing so badly? I mean, they're getting absolutely devastated. Whether it's in Sweden, they lost massive amounts of ground to the Sweden Democrats, who are an anti-immigration party. In Holland, Geert Wilders won more seats. Marine Le Pen in France, AFD in Germany,
first right-wing party in Germany since
Sebastian Kurz in Austria, Matteo Salvini in Italy, and the Five Star Movement. The Visegrad Four all moving towards the right. Even Denmark having a tough stance on immigration. Brexit. Even Donald Trump in the States. It's literally everywhere. The left are getting absolutely decimated at the moment.
The kind of shift that we've seen is unprecedented. We've never really seen this, certainly not in our lifetime.
Sure.
For generations, we've not seen this kind of shift, and the biggest reason for it across the Western world is simply because there's been such an increase in migration from the east. What's happened is, it'd be really nice and ideal to just allow complete free movement of people, but there is a limit to what society can cope with.
Can I ask you another question then, as a lefty here right now? I've read large parts of the Quran and found it an extremely conservative book, just like the Bible's very conservative, yeah. But it is a very, very conservative religion. So why is the left so aligned with Islam, particularly in the West? Yeah, considering it's a very conservative religion.
I think one of the things that and this goes back to the European Union and the elites, the way that they've tried to manipulate society and make them cultureless. First of all, you need to get the cultures and mix them together.
Yeah.
And again, the same with religion and everything else.
So do you believe that's the aim? If you destroy everyone's individual cultures, then everybody subscribes to a new culture, the new European superstate culture?
Yeah, I believe that's true. I believe that they're trying to manipulate society so that we have no identity. We see it with gender.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when we have no identity, we just look up to the state and ask, what do we need to do for our life?
Well, this sounds like a very communist idea, because I mean the Cultural Revolution in Maoist China and various other things is all about destroying as much information and history as possible. To then people wouldn't have a shared common culture; they'd just subscribe to the communist culture. So yeah. So I'll ask you that same question now, Alex. Yeah, that I've just asked to Damien. Yeah, if there is this shared sort of common culture and they want to destroy individual cultures and turn it into one homogenous culture, how do you think that pans out from a conservative point of view?
Well, the whole premise behind mass immigration was because they wanted a docile workforce. Now, from a conservative, they could create business behind that, around that, and use Africans as a cheap labor force, in order to make money, to expand their own personal greed, I would say. I wouldn't say it's greed. I think it's smart business. But obviously, with everything, you have the good and the bad points with the left. There's good and bad points with the right. Now,
so do you think greed has become a big thing within the right? I'm talking about traditional conservatism here. I'm not talking about like the extreme right or anything like that.
Not at all. No. I think it's good business. Do I think it's greed? No.
So would you make a distinguishing point between the term conservative and neocons? Because I would call Theresa May's government a neocon government rather than a conservative government. In other words, they're essentially the same as the neo-libs of Labour, Tony Blair government.
I'd say so. They're
not really conservative.
They may have different language to it, but at the end of the day, I don't see any distinguishing difference between what Tony Blair was trying to do at the end of his tenure to what Theresa May is trying to do.
So where do the Lib Dems fit into this?
It's very much similar to what Angela Merkel has tried and failed, and I think Theresa May is going after the Merkel effect.
So where do you think the Lib Dems fit into this then?
They don't.
Are they just a useless party now?
Well,
I don't think the Lib Dems know where they fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've traditionally voted Lib Dem in the past myself.
8 years ago, I could have seen their viewpoint, but now the Liberal Democrats are so divided that nobody takes them seriously.
Basically just a waste of time. I don't vote Lib Dem anymore. They're a waste of time party. They don't stand for anything.
So you're again sitting on the fence?
No. I just think that they're useless. I've actually got to the point in my life where I think that all politicians are a waste of time, and that's why I'm subscribing to direct democracy now.
You still need to have politicians to do the hard graft. You still need them there to tell.
I would prefer to call them administrators.
Yeah, as what the guy said, administrators.
Yeah. I'd give them a
Civil
different
servants.
name, so that they know their place.
Yeah.
They work for us, not we work for them. Anyway.
The whole, that's what the whole RIC movement is about, is creating administrators, people like everyday Joe blogs on the street to say to these people in the power positions, hang on, what you're doing is wrong. You do understand what you're doing here. I think having people in those kind of situations is a good thing. My only regret would be that they end up becoming too powerful or having too much of a say where they think they're above everybody else, which is what politicians do, which is what bureaucrats do these days.
There's no
They're above
accountability for
society.
them, is there really?
There's not. So at the moment, no. Roman Light brought up the whole. I don't agree. He's using the Yellow Vest movement as a platform for his own political gains. I don't agree with that. I was having a discussion with him the other night about this.
So Roman Light's actually sort of a left-wing yellow vest in in France at the moment. Yeah.
Well, he's promoting charterism, which is a left, I'd say an ultra-left viewpoint. However, charterism did not work. It worked for 10, 11 years back in 1848 to 57 or something like that. Some small amount of time. Didn't work. Why on earth would it have worked now? All that is more voting, more referendums. That's all it is, Yeah, absolutely.